Hello, everybody. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, the Transgender Center of the Rockies, a program of Mile High Behavioral Healthcare. They are this season's Authenticity Ambassador, and we thank them for their support. Welcome to Being You, an SPH Productions presentation. My name is Shane Hodges, licensed professional counselor and author of It's Time to Be You, How to Become Your Most Authentic Self. My guest today is Emmy Award-winning vocalist and musical creator, Stan Bush. Stan, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, I like to start the show off with a rapid fire Q&A where I give my guests 60 seconds to answer as many quick answer questions as we can. So, are you ready?
Yeah, okay.
All right. First song you wrote.
First song I wrote, probably Time Isn't Changing You. It was a ballad way back in the late 70s, I guess.
Okay. Who's your favorite Transformer?
Oh, a Bumblebee.
Nice. What was your worst subject in school?
Boy, I didn't really have one. I was pretty good in most stuff. Yeah.
All right. Who's your dream musical collaboration?
Gosh, I'd have to say Don Henley or, possibly, Mr. Page there from Zeppelin, yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Jimmy Page,
Very
yeah.
nice. All right. Where do you keep your Emmy?
Oh, it's on my desk up above on the top, so prominent
Nice.
place of honor.
What is your favorite fast food?
Gosh, there's a chain out here called The Habit in California, and it's like
Okay.
they have really good grilled chicken sandwich. It's reasonably healthy.
Nice. All right. Reasonably healthy. I like that. All right. And last one, guilty pleasure TV show.
Sorry?
A guilty pleasure TV show.
Guilty pleasure? Boy, we've been watching Veronica Mars. It's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
It's a good
Nice.
series.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, we got through about 10, so nicely done.
Great.
Now, let's get to know a little bit more about what you do. As I already mentioned, Emmy Award winner, 13 solo albums from 83 to 2022, nearly 20 singles as a lead artist, the most recent being just last year. And your songs have been used for movies, a video game, an animated series, a soap opera, and the Olympics. What's the feeling you get out of making music?
I love it. It's a dream come true actually writing a song is like writing a good song is not easy. Let me put it that way. And it's not always good. They sort of hit or miss a bit, but it's like a puzzle, and it's challenging to come up with stuff that works.
I can imagine. Well, how did you first get into it?
Let's see. It was way back. I mean, I grew up with the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and
Mhm.
some of the early great bands. I love Foreigner later on, and just it's always sort of even Motown. I love the soul music kind of thing. It's like R&B.
Yep.
It's really great stuff. Great songwriting and great singing, and it's just to me, it's all about the song. So.
hmm For you, when it comes to a song, do you connect more to the music, the lyrics, the story of the artist?
Probably the music. It's funny because I always used to think about that when you notice that usually girls, they know all the words and guys are kind of listening to the guitar and the beat,
Right?
Later on, I got more into lyrics because it's important,
hmm
it was funny because in school, I wasn't particularly into poetry or anything like that. And I wish I'd paid more attention to those subtle things with,
hmm
turn of phrase and that kind of stuff.
Right. I saw in another interview that you talked about lyrics, and one of the interviewers mentioned that a lot of your songs are very uplifting. Is that something that's important to you when you're writing?
Yeah, it's funny. People ask me that a lot, and it's sort of I think the touch from Transformers was kind of the song that began that trend for me, and I've been doing it ever since. It's just I don't know. I had a great childhood, and I'm optimistic, and I don't know. It's just to me, it's like so much of our lives are what our minds think, and like you reach for stuff, you believe in yourself, and it's just amazing how much you can do. We have more power, way more power than we realize. I think that's
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned the movie Transformers, and I had to bring in my husband's poster. You had two songs for the Transformers movie back in 1986. What about that experience stands out for you?
Well, first of all, my co-writer and I, Lenny Macaluso, we wrote the
Mhm.
song originally with the idea of pitching it for the Stallone movie Cobra, and
Right, I saw that.
then the record company told me that, okay, we got this. It got it in a movie about an animated movie about robots, and I'm like, really? Little did we know that it would turn out to be this huge phenomenon. So
Mhm.
anyway,
Very, very cool. Well, prior to that project, were you a fan or were you even aware of the cartoon or the toy line?
yeah, actually, I did run across. Well, my nephew, he at the time was a kid, and he had
Hmm.
this transformer toy, and he transformed it in from a robot into a truck in like seconds, and I
Hmm.
was like, whoa. And I couldn't do it anyway, but he like did it, really quick. And anyway, so that was my first experience with a transformer toy. So
Nice. Do you
yeah.
remember which one it was?
No, no, I don't.
Well, I saw that you did go to the premiere. What did you think of the movie when you first saw it and hearing your song in the movie?
It was cool. It was awesome. I mean, they had quite a cast in that movie, and
Mhm.
so it was an honor to be there and to be a part of it.
Very, very cool. Now, was this the first movie that one of your songs had been in? Or did
That's a
the
that's a good question. There's the same album. There was a movie with Charlie Sheen called. Anyway, the song was called Heart versus Head, and it was in a movie about
okay,
ghosts called. Anyway, so that was another. It was around the same time, and then I guess it
gotcha.
was a year or two later that I had the songs in the Van Damme movies. The first
Right.
one, Bloodsport, and then later Kickboxer. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Also
but
loved
it was
those movies.
yeah, it was cool. I mean, I had done a solo album for CBS Records before that,
Hmm.
but I don't think anything really happened with that album. It was kind of, came and went. Usual story with the,
Gotcha.
yeah.
With regard to the movie, the Transformers movie, one of the songs you mentioned was The Touch. And if I'm correct, you've redone that song a few times. Why is that?
Well, we did that sort of Linkin Park-ish version that we recorded, I guess, around 2010 or so, and
Hmm.
it was kind of cool. It was a different sort of approach, and
Yeah.
but again, it's like it's one of those things where you can't sort of replace the original, in people's hearts and minds. It's
Right.
always,
Right.
but yeah, and then another thing we did, Touch Power Mix. It was another sort of effort to just experiment. But
Very cool. Very cool. Well, this is the 40th anniversary of the movie. Any big plans?
yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff happening. We just did this past Saturday, just 3 or 4 days ago. We did
Hmm.
a show at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood, the famous, iconic place, rock club.
Hmm.
Anyway, that was also the weekend of TFCon, and so I was a guest at that convention
Both the same.
in
Okay.
LA here, and so yeah, that just happened. And then there's a bunch of big stuff coming up that this towards the summer. There's Comic Con, and also
Hmm.
there's another concert type of thing that weekend down there in San Diego, and there's also they're doing a Hasbro's releasing a reimagined soundtrack album. It's
I
Transformers, yeah.
saw that.
So yeah, so
Nice.
that's going to be real cool. I have 3 songs on that. Of course, the Touch and Dare, and then the song
Hmm.
Solar One, which is the Transformers theme that was used in the War for Cybertron game.
Right.
Yeah.
So, with these different fan events like Comic Con or the one last weekend, what's it like for you being there and interacting with the fans?
Well, it's incredible. The fans are amazing. I'm not just saying that. They're like you just want to
Hmm.
hug each one of them. They're so amazing. Just wonderful people, and
Hmm.
it's just such an honor. It's humbling is what it is, because all I did was sing a couple of songs like 40 years ago. There's you know what I mean?
Well,
Sort of
I get that. I get that.
uh,
And I love that a song brings something to people that they just don't forget, whether it's associated with a movie or a period in their life or whatever, they just remember it and
yeah.
it sticks with them. So I
Very
love that.
gratifying. Yeah, it's really nice. It's
Hmm.
we hang out. They tell me about their experiences growing up, and they say cool stuff. And it's like I'm just like thank you. I'm glad to be here, and it's cool. And it's amazing. The franchise is still, after all this time, it's just,
Yes. It's they just keep redesigning and renewing and coming out with different stuff. It's pretty impressive. In another interview, you were talking about fan mail and commented, what was it? It's cool to think I may have been a positive force in the world. What's it like to get fan mail that is directed at you and pointing out the impact that you and or your music had?
That again is very humbling. I'm happy to hear that stuff because I mean, that's really we each of us, I think, would love to have some part in making the world a better place, or maybe changing somebody's life in a positive way, positive
Mm-hmm.
influence. But I don't know, there's enough negativity in the world. I want to try to do what
True.
I can. I don't know, just it doesn't I don't know. I just love the uplifting stuff when well, like I say, not to be corny, but believe in
Mhm.
yourself and go for it. And people told
Absolutely.
me stuff like that, like a lawyer, for instance, he's about to go into a trial and he plays the touch, that kind of stuff.
Yep. Actually, I think that was the example you were talking about because I read
Okay.
about that. I love that. I think that's amazing. Growing up, when you were coming up and when you were getting into it, who were the people that you looked up to in terms of inspiration?
Well, gosh, there were obviously sports figures and things, but I'm trying to think of. I mean, obviously, the one of my all-time favorite anthems was "Survivor, Eye of the Tiger." I mean, that was incredible. What a great song,
Absolutely.
and just the feeling of that, And I was going to say, just the '80s in general. I remember
Uh-huh.
the movies were amazing. They'd have
Oh,
like
yes.
Back to the Future or whatever it is, and they'd have That's What Dreams Are Made Of, the Top Gun movie. Anyway,
Yep.
you come out of the movie, you're singing the song, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
incredible. And
Yeah.
the
It's
music was a big part of the movies, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
absolutely. And I actually, when I was working out this morning, I was listening to your most recent album, and it was it was wild because even though it's, if I'm correct, just from last year, it had that 80s feel, and it was just pumping me up, and I loved it. It was great. Well, I wanted to ask about
Sure.
a particular song, The 80s,
Yeah.
and the video. Your son played the younger version of you in the video.
Right.
What was it like working with him and having him play you?
It was cool. I mean, he put on one of my leather jackets, my old boots, rock stuff, and he looked great. He had longer hair then.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it was funny. I mean, I mean, in a good way, he's better looking than me for sure. But it was a cool thing. We even rented a VW bus, so sort of a time
Yep.
machine that
Yep. I saw the
took you back.
video.
And those were great days. I mean, for me, the '80s was really more like the '70s, I think, or
Mm,
I go back further than that,
right.
but that music sort of, I don't know, it still resonates with a lot of people, I think.
Absolutely. How old was your son when you guys did that video?
Well, let's see. It must have been 8 years ago. He just turned 31, or he's about to turn
Okay.
31. So yeah,
Huh?
it wasn't too long. It
Nice.
was young 20s.
Uh, a moment ago, you mentioned the recent concert at Whiskey A Go Go, and that was with Vince DiCola and a couple others. How was that, and how did things go?
It was awesome. I mean, it was a lot of love in the room. I think a lot
Hmm.
of attendees from the convention came to the show. And of
Ah,
course,
nice.
Vince has a big following as well from having
Mm-hmm.
done the music for the movie and the score. So
Mm-hmm.
it was great. Vince and I have been buddies, friends for a long, long time. Of course, ever since back in the day. I mean, he played on
Mm-hmm.
some of my stuff back then when we were recording the album with Scotty Brothers. But yeah, Vince is a good guy. He really is. I think it was a similar experience for him to do the show. It was like a couple days after it, he said he was still buzzing from, you know.
Those experiences stick with you. I love those where
Yeah,
again, it's just you're doing something you love and you're putting something out there and affecting and energizing others. That's a vibe for sure.
yeah,
So I mentioned your recent album, Born for Battle. This just came out last year. Is that correct?
yeah. Like in October, around
Okay.
there. Yeah,
So
in the
yeah,
fall.
not long ago. What can you tell us about the album?
It took I guess since 2020 was the last album, so they were all the best songs that I've recorded in the last 4 years or so, and I think it's a really strong album. There are let's see, two of the songs were in the last Kumite movie, which is sort of like a takeoff of Bloodsport. Anyway, there's another sequel to that's coming out. Lion Fist is coming out in October, and that'll have one of the other songs from the album called Heart of a Lion. And of course, there's an not Olympic, sorry, a USA song, Freedom, called Freedom. And I'm really
Mm-hmm.
proud of that. That's one of my better songs, I think, artistically. And we did a music video on that as well. So got the 250-year anniversary of our country. So that's
Yep.
another thing that is exciting about this year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like I said before, I was listening to the album this morning, and Heart of a Lion actually was one of my favorites.
thank you.
That was probably my favorite song on the album. So, with your current catalog, it spans 6 decades already. What more do you want to do and or hope to accomplish as a musician?
I just want to, reach people and try to be a good influence on stuff. I like to perform. I'm still like doing stuff out, like I say, I just did the show at the Whiskey, and then we got the stuff at Comic-Con coming up. And so, yeah, I love performing, and also songwriting is very cool. I'll probably always do those things as long as I can. So,
Well, okay, and I'm going to touch on that in a minute. Well, let's go there. Obviously, as we age, things change.
yep.
What, if anything, have you noticed in terms of changes in your voice and or what it is you do or do not like in terms of aspects of musician?
Well, the thing I guess is I don't know, your voice changes some, but I've been fortunate, but I hadn't had to go on tour for extended periods like a lot of the 80s bands, they can't sort of hit the notes anymore, that kind of stuff. And fortunately for me, I've been able to just do gigs selectively and just focus on writing and recording. I'm really happy with the way the new music the last few so I guess albums have been like since well I don't know, there's been like six of them I guess in the last 10, 12 years, and I'm really happy with all of them. It's pretty cool to have, like I say, a presence on. We've I've done music videos, and people can see
Mm-hmm.
stuff on YouTube, and it's like a song about going for it and believing in yourself. It's called Your Time, and that just
Okay.
the viewership exploded on that. It's like 4.5 million views. It's just and
Wow.
it's a cool song. I mean, it's just got like a Transformers animated type of thing going on. And of course,
Very
we
cool.
did Transformers music videos with like Heat of the Battle, and there's another one called True Believer. But those had footage from the Transformers franchise from the cartoon.
Gotcha.
So it's amazing for me to be able to still do that stuff, and I'm trying to get a little deeper in sort of the spiritual realm a bit, just
Sure.
mainly to look at life, not to be all preachy or something, but I think each one of us should think about those things that, like what
Mhm.
are we here for, that kind of stuff,
Well, let's go ahead and move into our section where we get a little more personal.
okay.
Talk to me about your spirituality. What are you learning about yourself and or hoping to figure out as you go through that journey?
Well, first of all, I'm a Christian. I'm not a Christian artist, but I'm a Christian and I'm an artist. So I'm thinking I could like move more that direction because
Mm-hmm.
with my music, because I think I could offer a lot of stuff. Like the Emmy song, for instance, Till I Was
Mm-hmm.
Loved by You could be sung to God, and it's that kind of stuff. And it's I don't know, to me it's a very personal thing, and but I
Mm-hmm.
think people, like I say, they sort of have to find their own way. But I think personally, though, I'm a believer, and I'm learning and studying and
Mm-hmm.
growing in that realm. So, but
To what extent was that a part of your childhood?
oh yeah, I grew up going to church and all that with my family, and
Mm-hmm.
so I was exposed to it at a young age, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is important, and then because a lot of times kids later in life they'll come back to it if they when they have their own
Mm-hmm.
families, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So
In what ways as an adult have you gone about trying to educate yourself and or find what fits best for you on that plane?
Good question. I actually joined a Bible study group. I've been going to a little over a year or so. We've been doing that on Monday evenings, and they're like
Nice.
the nicest guys. They're like about my age, and nicest guys I've ever met. They're awesome.
Hmm.
These
Very
people
cool.
like that, you want to, you call them your friends. It's cool to be there, to be a part of it, and be accepted. And they found
Yeah,
out,
there's connection.
yeah, and they tease me about being a rock star.
I love it.
I
Love it.
said, oh yeah, I bought your album. Oh, you were the one. Jokes like that.
Nice. That's good. Well, in addition to being a musician, because that started at a fairly young age for you, it sounds like, were there other aspirations you had as a kid?
Oh, let's see. I was always exposed to music, played trombone and then later
Right.
guitar. I started playing guitar when I was about 10 or 11. And it
Okay.
just sort of, all the way through grade school, middle school, and all that, I was playing in little garage bands and that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
it was a musical town I was from too, Gainesville, Florida. I was a new
Okay.
Tom Petty, of course, and some of the Eagles, a couple of the Eagles guys were
Yep.
from there. And so it was a musical sort of place. And anyway, but yeah, it's just, it's
Mm.
all been good.
How old were you when you had your first paid gig?
My first what?
Paid gig?
Oh, paid gig. Yeah, I remember my dad drove us. He had this truck from work and he took us and our equipment, and it was a high school
Mhm.
dance. And I remember we got
Wow.
paid $150, and he was sitting on the bleachers with his hand.
How old were you at the time?
Let's see, I would have been 15.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Well, when you are not creating music, how do you relax and or spend your free time?
Let's see. Well, first of all, I run 2 miles a day, and that's really helping
Wow.
to
Okay.
keep me in shape and things. It's you gotta really take care of that stuff, make sure you get.
Absolutely.
And anyway, I have a great life. I'm close with my two sons and my daughter, and got grandkids, and it's like that's really a big part of my life right there, being grandpa.
Nice. Do they live nearby or are they?
Yeah, like a mile away.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's fantastic.
It
That's
is. It
that's
is.
cool.
It's the best.
How old are the grandkids then?
Oh, let's see, 3.5 and 6.
Nice. Those are fun ages. Very cool. If you were able to, what would you say to and or how do you think you are different from 25-year-old you?
Oh boy. I don't think I really grew up until I was in my 40s. I mean, it was one of those, it was, first of all, you grow up in, I don't know, part of it was being a musician. You don't really have to grow up, so I think I was like a late to mature kind of person. In other words, I'm a
Gotcha.
guy,
Pretty much.
right?
Nice. Well, in another interview, you mentioned sticking to your roots. And authenticity is a huge part of the work I do and a big part of why I do this series. How do you know when you start to get away from who you are?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I think each of us has a sort of interior or barometer that tells us when we're being disingenuous, basically.
Mhm.
It's just, you feel, you're fake, you're being fake, and you're being, especially if you're not being a good person. We definitely know
Mhm.
that. So, I mean, as bad as guilt feels, it's the best thing we have, really, to keep us on the path, because it's ultimately, anybody who does bad stuff, you can't be happy doing that. It just sort of,
Yeah,
it because when you're wrong or when you're right. It's like righteous.
absolutely.
It's all true stuff.
Well, that brings us to the wow segment of our program, which is my
Okay.
words of wisdom. I ask all of my guests, what words of wisdom and or advice, feedback do you have for others regarding being your authentic self?
Well, I think you just live right. The golden rule thing, treat people like you'd want to be treated. But I don't know. I think just believe in yourself and try to, like, when make your where you can look in the mirror and be happy with who you are. I think that's really ultimately what it is. A long time ago, I read this book called Conversations with God, and he kept
Mhm.
the God character. He was played by Edward Asner, but in this particular audiobook, but he kept saying something about, who you really are, who are you, that kind of thing, and that's what we really, each of us needs to answer that, I think.
How old do you think you were when you started to figure that out?
Like last year. No, no, I'm kidding. I'm still, it's a process. I think we're all still evolving,
Yeah.
but it's been the last, I think I'm getting better at living right, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if you could go back and change anything, what would you change?
That's a great question because you think about that, and but honestly, things have worked out perfectly. It's like, yeah, I could have bought, Apple and Google back at the right time for
Right.
pennies on the dollar, that kind of thing. But other than that stuff, also going back to the 80s and knowing what I know now about songwriting and everything else, it would have changed everything. But the thing is, if I had
Yeah.
been like a huge, huge star, I would have been messed up even more. You know what I mean? It's like almost every one of them, you know, didn't have a good experience from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I often say that I wouldn't go back and change anything because I feel that if I did, it would change my path and I wouldn't be where I am. And
That's
I
right.
don't know what I would be missing out on that I have now. So
That's it.
I
That's a
like that.
great. Yeah. No, I think
I
I
like
think
that.
I would say honestly that I wouldn't change a thing because it's been.
Nice. Nice. Well, what, if any, information, socials, website, etc., would you like to share with individuals so they can find you and see what is going on with you?
Oh, well, first of all, the website stanbush.com, and yeah, everything's on there as far as social media.
Okay.
And but yeah, it's I really appreciate the support from all of you and out there, and yeah, appreciate you doing the interview with me.
Excellent. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate your time, and it's been nice to get to know a little bit more about you. Thank you all for watching. Again, my name is Shane Hodges, licensed professional counselor and author of It's Time to Be You, How to Become Your Most Authentic Self. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day and be yourselves,
You
everybody.
too. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks again to the Transgender Center of the Rockies for being this season's Authenticity Ambassador. We appreciate all the work you do. Check them out at transgendercenteroftherockies.org.